Are you ready to take a walk down memory lane and explore the more physical side of some of old Hollywood's most famous leading men? Well, Factsverse presents Old Hollywood Celebrities Who Were Famously Well-Endowed. Forrest Tucker. When it comes to the big guns of old Hollywood, few stories are as memorable or jaw-dropping as those featuring Forrest Tucker. Standing at 6'4", he burst onto the scene as a worthy opponent to Gary Cooper in 1940's The Westerner, but it was his tendency to play brash, brawny, and all-around rough-around-the-edges characters that earned him a spot among the industry's most colorful supporting actors. Having served in the Army during World War II, he returned to Hollywood and made a name for himself in films such as Errol Flynn's 1946 film Never Say Goodbye and The Sands of Iwo Jima in 1948. Though he may have been a bit trussed up during his turn as a bare-knuckle boxer in Laughing Ann, he knew he had something special, or rather extra special, below the belt, and wasn't shy about sharing the details. In fact, Tucker gave his member a nickname, the Chief. And while he may have had a reputation as a ladies' man, he was just as happy to show off his assets in the company of the guys, often swimming nude at George Cukor's legendary Sunday afternoon pool parties. Despite his many raucous moments, including a now infamous locker room incident with columnist James Bacon, Tucker remained a beloved figure in Hollywood until his death from lung cancer and emphysema in 1986. And with tales like these, it's not hard to see why his legacy continues to inspire laughter, awe, and the occasional fainting spell to this day. Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra was known for more than just his piercing blue eyes. His charisma and extraordinary voice made him one of the first ever music teen idols and a major Hollywood star. Despite being presented as a wholesome family man with 3 young children, he had a reputation for sleeping his way through fans and Hollywood starlets. His conquests included Ava Gardner, Marilyn Monroe, Lana Turner, Marlene Dietrich, Lauren Bacall, Juliet Prowse, and Mia Farrow. Sinatra's friend Gianni Russo once said he was, quote, just a womanizer, and he had a reputation for being well-endowed. Gardner famously quipped, "He's only 110 pounds, but 10 pounds of it is his manhood." His valet even revealed he had special underwear made to contain and conceal his size in public. Sinatra himself once said, "We're animals, each and every one of us. That's what we are, and we're damn proud of it too. I'm just looking to make it with as many women as I can." Milton Berle. Milton Berle began his career as a child actor, winning an amateur talent contest with his talent for impersonating Charlie Chaplin. He quickly became a prominent figure in vaudeville, which was popular in the U.S. in the 30s. When his show, Texaco Star Theater, premiered in 1948, it was so popular it reportedly doubled television set sales. Berle was famous for inviting black talent to appear on his show, earning him a favorable reputation. But his reputation was tarnished by his habit of stealing jokes, which he admitted to in an interview with the New York Times. Berle's show was eventually canceled in 1955 after losing sponsorships from Texaco and Buick. He continued to make appearances on television, including odd guest spots on shows like Batman and The Love Boat, and was known to a younger generation as the older man who appeared on roasts. Despite never filming any sex scenes, Berle's reputation for being well-endowed was widely known. Marilyn Monroe, whom Berle worked with on the set of the film Ladies of the Chorus in 1948, and later in Let's Make Love, was rumored to have personally attested to his size. Truman Capote quoted her as saying, quote, "Christ, everybody says Milton Berle has the biggest schlong in Hollywood." To give that quote a bit of context, apparently the actress was making a direct comparison to the legendary endowment of Errol Flynn. Berle was known for being coy when it came to questions about the size of his manhood, particularly in his earlier years, but as he got older, he became more comfortable discussing the topic. Generally speaking, his willingness to talk about his anatomy seemed to largely depend on his mood. At times, when asked what he was packing, Berle would quickly change the subject or make a vague comment. But in one now notorious interview later in life, he addressed it. Speaking of his love life, he confirmed he still had some success with it, even at the age of 88. He also joked that whenever he got aroused, he blacked out. Burt Ward. The Batman TV series, known for its campy and enduring charm, has secured a permanent place in pop culture after its initial run from 1966 to 68. Burt Ward, who played Robin, recently received his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He also revealed that the bulge under his superhero tights was deemed too large for TV. ABC even considered taking drastic action to prevent a potential uproar his endowment might cause. He was sent to see a doctor who prescribed medication to reduce his bulge, but he quickly stopped taking the medication as he feared it would affect his ability to have children. Instead, he used his cape to cover it up. In the same interview, Ward also shared that his co-star Adam West had the opposite problem and had Turkish towels put in his undershorts to enhance his bulge. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn was a Hollywood icon renowned for his dapper appearance and debonair charm long before the days of Tinseltown heartthrobs. But with good looks often comes good trouble, and Flynn's reputation was equally famed for his womanizing tendencies and his daring performances in swashbuckling movies. Despite 3 marriages and rumored affairs with Hollywood legends like Marlene Dietrich, Carole Lombard, and Tyrone Power, Flynn's off-screen behavior was often the subject of scandalous gossip. One particularly wild story involves Flynn reportedly playing a piano solo of You Are My Sunshine with his Well-Endowed member at a Hollywood party. But even more disturbing were his reported involvements with underage girls. In 1942, Flynn was charged with sexually assaulting 2 teenage girls, Betty Hansen and Peggy Satterley. Although the mostly female jury found him not guilty of all charges, the highly publicized trial left a permanent mark on his on-screen persona as a romantic swashbuckler. It's worth pointing out the phrase "in like Flynn," often associated with his sexual prowess, now feels ridiculously distasteful given his alleged preference for underage girls. John Dillinger. John Dillinger wasn't a Hollywood celebrity per se, but we still thought he deserved a spot in the video. The legend of infamous bank robber John Dillinger is shrouded in a bizarre tale that claims his allegedly unusually large member was removed and put on display at one of the Smithsonian museums in Washington, D.C. The institution denies having possession of this piece of classic Americana, although some claim the museum's curators will fabricate excuses for why it's not on display rather than deny its presence. The origin of the rumor is unknown, and there's no documentary evidence indicating that Dillinger was known for his sexual prowess or his possession of a large member. Some believe that a photograph taken after Dillinger's death, which showed a bulge that was mistaken for his genitals, gave rise to the legend. But this doesn't explain how the organ supposedly ended up in a museum, nor does it account for how it was removed without anyone noticing. One theory suggests that the FBI, who'd been pursuing Dillinger for years, may have been responsible for the rumor. After a string of brazen bank robberies and daring escapes, Dillinger had become the FBI's public enemy number 1, and his eventual death at the hands of the Bureau was a major victory for them. It's possible they may have wanted to further humiliate him by emasculating him symbolically and displaying his member in a museum. Now it's time to hear from you. Which person on this list was most surprising to hear about? Let us know in the comments section below.